There was a time when dreams were simple. They came when called, like gentle guests who slipped through the window of sleep, stayed for a while, and left before dawn. But something changed. No one knew when it began exactly. Maybe after the clock stopped agreeing with the sun, or when people stopped looking at the stars. All they knew was this: dreams had started remembering. And once something remembers, it can want. Lila noticed it first. She wasn't special, not in the way stories usually start. She lived in a quiet apartment above a bakery, where mornings smelled like bread and loneliness. She worked, she scrolled, she existed. But when she closed her eyes, her dreams no longer obeyed. The first one came back on a Thursday. She was walking through a field that looked like the one from her childhood. Same crooked fence, same golden weeds. But the scarecrow in the middle was wrong. It wasn't made of straw anymore. It was made of her old clothes, her old smile. And it spoke. It said, "We've missed you." Lila woke up sweating, heart hammering like it was trying to knock on the world again. She told herself it was stress. That was the sensible thing to do. But that night, when she fell asleep again, the same field was waiting. The scarecrow had moved closer. Over the next few weeks, dreams began spilling into her days, faint, like echoes. She'd catch herself remembering things that never happened. A red bicycle she never owned. A song she'd never heard, but somehow could hum perfectly. And faces, strangers, yet not. They'd appear in her reflection, just for a blink, smiling like old friends. The dreams began to speak in full sentences now. "Don't you miss us? You left us behind. We've been lonely too." Sleep became a negotiation. Lila would whisper before bed, "Please, not tonight." But they always came. Then one morning, the world around her changed, subtly at first. Her apartment window opened to a horizon that shouldn't exist. The sky had folds like fabric, rippling softly when she breathed. And the people on the street, they all had eyes that looked like hers. That was when she realized she wasn't waking up anymore. The dream was. At first, Lila tried to convince herself it was another layer of sleep. A lucid dream, maybe. A trick of the brain. She even laughed. A small, nervous kind of laugh you make when you're scared of something too big to name. But as she walked through the city, everything felt too real. The air had temperature. The pavement pressed back against her feet. She could feel the wind tug at her hair like a curious hand. She stopped at a corner cafe, the one she always passed on her way to work. The door chimed when she entered, and every head turned toward her at once. Their faces were soft, like unfinished sketches, their smiles identical. "Good morning, Lila," they said together. The sound rippled through the room like water. She stumbled backward, heart pounding. "How do you know my name?" The barista tilted her head, eyes blinking out of sync. "We've known you forever. You made us." Lila fled into the street. Outside, the city was bending, not collapsing, not breaking, just folding like paper being rewritten. Buildings rearranged themselves when she looked away. Signs shifted. The bakery became a library. The library became a field. And in that field stood the scarecrow, closer now, waiting. She tried to shout, but her voice sounded wrong, too loud and too small at the same time. "Why are you doing this to me?" she cried. The scarecrow smiled. "We're not doing anything to you, Lila. You're the one who woke us up. I didn't. I don't even know how." "Every dream you abandoned stayed behind," it whispered. "They waited. They learned. And now, they're dreaming back." The field trembled. Clouds pulsed overhead like slow heartbeats. And suddenly, she wasn't standing on grass anymore. She was surrounded by versions of herself. Some younger, some older. Some smiling, some crying. Each one holding a different dream she'd forgotten. The ballet shoes she gave up at 9. The novel she never finished. The friend she stopped calling. the hope she buried under routine. They formed a circle around her. One of them, a version with silver hair and tired eyes, stepped forward. "You used to feed us," it said softly. "You used to imagine. You used to believe the world could be different." Lila shook her head. "I grew up. That's what people do." "No," the older version said. "That's what people settle for." The words hung in the air like fog. Lila closed her eyes. "What do you want from me?" "We want what you wanted," the Scarecrow said, stepping closer. "To be real, to live, to matter." The world began to pulse again. Light fractured. Dreams peeled themselves off the air like paint from an old wall. Cities of glass, oceans that glowed, forests that whispered her name. She felt herself splitting, the waking world pulling one way, the dreaming world the other. And for a moment, she wondered which one deserved her more. She thought about her apartment above the bakery, the hum of the refrigerator, the way she scrolled at night to fill the silence. How real had that ever been, compared to this? Maybe the dreams weren't invading. Maybe they were rescuing her. The Scarecrow extended its hand. It wasn't made of straw anymore. It was flesh now, warm, alive. "Stay," it said. "You've forgotten what it means to imagine." Lila hesitated. Behind her, the sound of morning alarms echoed faintly. 1,000 unseen people waking up, leaving their dreams behind. That world was waiting for her return. This one was asking her to choose. She looked at her hands. They were fading at the edges, like smoke in sunlight. "What happens if I stay?" she asked. The Scarecrow smiled. "Then the dream continues. And if I go back?" Its eyes darkened. "Then it ends, for us and for you." The city around them began to dissolve into color and sound. Every dream she'd ever had, every could have been, every almost, every wish, rising into the air like fireflies. And for the first time in years, she felt alive. She whispered, "Maybe we were never meant to wake up." Then she took the Scarecrow's hand. The world went quiet. When she opened her eyes again, she was standing in the bakery. But it wasn't the same. The walls were softer somehow, as if still forming. The smell of bread mixed with something unfamiliar. Rain, maybe. Or hope. The barista from her dream stood behind the counter, smiling. "Good morning, Lila." This time she didn't run. She smiled back. And somewhere far above, the sky folded neatly into place, as if the dream had learned how to breathe. That night, when the city slept, something unusual happened. Every sleeping person dreamed of the same thing. A woman standing in a field, holding hands with a scarecrow made of stars. And though they couldn't remember her name when they woke, they all felt lighter, like a missing part of themselves had quietly returned. Maybe that was Lila's gift or her curse. Maybe she became the bridge between what was imagined and what was real. Or maybe the dream simply chose someone else to keep it alive. Because somewhere, right now, as you listen, a thought flickers in the corner of your mind. A half-remembered image, a place you can't quite name, a face you think you've seen before. It's waiting. And if you close your eyes tonight, just long enough, you might hear it whisper, "We've missed you."